Welcome to Spectrum News. I am Rachel. David White coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. Pabio unveils Senate committees, names Adeola Wada office as chairman. Plus, Russian shelling kills 7. First in the news this afternoon is a report that President Bola Tinubu has written to the Senate requesting a confirmation of the newly appointed service should be screened by the entire Senate in its chamber at a yet-to-be-announced date. Akpabio explained that since relevant standing committees of the Senate are not in place yet, the service chiefs would be screened. Staff Major General T.A. Lagwaja, Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral E.A. Ogala, Chief of Naval Staff, and Air Vice Marshal H.B. Abubakar, Chief of Air Staff. The President in the Cap A20 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has returned to Abuja after a 2-day trip to Guinea-Bissau for the 63rd in Bissau. At the summit, which is the president's first meeting with the position in 2018, Tinubu told the leaders in the sub-region that under his leadership, the commission will take democracy to a greater height, noting that democracy is very tough, but it caution with terrorism and an emerging pattern of military takeover that now demand urgent and concerted actions from member states. In a related development, the wife of President Bola Tinubu, Oluwatomi Tinubu, has debunked of the chapel because some members of their congregation did not support her husband. Reacting in a statement issued by her aide, Busola Kukoi, she said the chapel is open and holds weekly fellowship. She added that President Tinubu is yet to appoint a chaplain for the chapel. Away from state, Ladi Adebutu, and 9 hours before an Ogun State High Court sitting in Abeokuta for a vote buying. Recall that Adebutu was reportedly accused of providing 200,000 prepared VAVE cards loading voters to vote for PDP candidates during the said elections. Reports say Adebutu, who was charged in absentia, has been on the run from law. The case, which was brought before Justice Abiodun Akinyemi, sitting in court for, was adjourned till July 10th. After the sitting, the court has and is set to harmonize all revenue collecting agencies in Nigeria. The special advisor to President Bola Tinubu on revenue is currently below 15 trillion naira by deepening the nation's revenue collection system and not by adding extra taxes. Adedeji clarified that the Tinubu administration is not in real time and remove any form of government within government. Adedeji also stressed that and from the red chambers of the Senate Election Committee, mainly composed of presiding officer and principal officers of the OPAC, officer Senators Simon Mwatkwan, Oyewumi Olarere, Darlington Mwakocha, and Rafai Hanga. Akpabio also named the chairman and deputy chairman of the other special committees of Senate. Senator Titus Zam was named as the chairman Senate Committee on Senate Services, with Senator Williams John as vice chairman. Other Mustafa as vice chairman. From the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives has urged the National Universities Commission (NUC) to suspend the implementation of an increase in the tuition fees of universities. This was contained in a motion by Aliyu Sani Madaki, who noted that the universities that hiked their fees included Bayero University, Kano, Vija, Omodike, and Federal University, Dose, among others. Lawmakers in the Green Chamber were concerned that the hike in fees by the universities was happening against the worsening poverty level in the country, implementation, high rate of unemployment, inflation rather, and the recent fuel price hike. The fear that increase could cause disruptions for a number of students who could not afford the fees, and that while many of them would be judiciary, where Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the investigation of a prosecuting counsel, Ibrahim Mohammed, who filed an 8-count charge against Senator Stella Odoa. The court is inquiring how the charge sheet, which was filed in June by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, announced his appearance for the Nigeria Police Force. He told the court that the defendant, Stella Odoa, was not in court because the investigating police officer, IPO, said she could not be served because she was indisposed. The judge went further to inquire governors-elect on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, are holding their maiden meeting at the forum at the Akwa Ibom State Governor's Lodge in Abuja. Some of the governors who have already arrived at the venue of the meeting are Umoino, Akwa Ibom, Dauda Lawal, Zamfara, Hamadu Fintiri, Adamawa, Sheyi Makinde, Oyo. Across the stage of the nation, especially recent developments in the country politically, socially, and economically. The meeting will also discuss the state of the forum, the party PDP, and the role of the PDP governors in stabilizing the PDP. In another development, Governor Alex Otti, administration of ex-governor Okezie Ikpeazu, Otti also ordered the payment of June pensions to retirees, some of whom were being owed upwards of 50 months by the last administration. The payment according to a statement service, and to clear all outstanding verified salary arrears. Otti added that the approved is determined efforts to reinvigorate economic activities and provide a conducive environment for traders to engage in their business. He stated his commitment to completing the project to underscore his campaign promise to take an over project executed by his predecessor. COVID-19 pandemic halted the project in its advanced stage of execution, stressing that it must be completed and put to use, and pedestrians. Earlier, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Trade and Investment, Oliver Odogbo, who conducted the governor around the project, explained that the market, built on 2 floors, has 2,800 stalls and a large parking space to accommodate the cars for those engaging in various businesses on a 30% discount. After the initial token paid to acquire the shop, which is expected to be repaired in 5 years, Government House correspondent Konayagani, Secretary to the State Government Prince Enobong Owa, and the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Trade and Investment Oliver Odogbo, amongst others. To the G5 Sahel Organization of the Sahel Alliance, a platform of the 27 bilateral partners and donors fighting jihadist groups in May last year, citing loss of autonomy, and the President of Central African Republic, Faustin Touadera, has delivered the new constitution draft to the campaign organizers ahead of the referendum at the end of the month. The Minister for Youth and Sport, according to reports, the new constitution, if approved, removes the limit of 2 terms to the president, therefore allowing the president to run for a 3rd term in office. On a foreign scene, Ukraine's emergency service have said Russian shelling on an aid hub in the town of Orikhiv in southern Ukraine has killed 7 people. Reports say Orikhiv has a pre-war population of 14,000 people and is in the frontline southeastern region of Zaporizhia, which Russian leader Vladimir Putin claimed to have annexed last year despite not having full military control over it. And still on a foreign scene, a military alliance's chief, Jens Stoltenberg, says Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan has agreed to support Sweden's bid to join NATO. Stoltenberg said the Turkish leader would forward Sweden's bid to the parliament in Ankara and ensure ratification. Turkey had earlier stalled for ratification process, accusing Sweden of hosting ahead of a NATO summit in the Lithuanian capital, described this as a historic step, but stressed that a clear date could not be given for when Sweden could join a military alliance. News. Ateta includes Nigerian midfielder Ethan in Arsenal's pre-season tour. To stay with us. In our business news, the federal government has said Nigeria currently accounts for 33% of the total gas reserves in Africa. The federal government disclosed this through the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC), noting that the Komolafe, while speaking at the Nigerian Association for Energy Economics 16th Annual International Conference in Abuja, said it is important to note that oil and gas would continue to guarantee energy security for Nigeria's massive population, estimated to be about 200 million. Benga added that over the last 2 centuries, the world had witnessed the evolution of various energy sources of energy. In business, the Naira, still in business rather, the Naira has appreciated to 744 Naira per $1 at the investors and exporters window. The closing rate yesterday represented a 24 Naira per dollar gain from Friday's 968 Naira per dollar rate. According to a report, the Central Bank of Nigeria unified all exchange rate into the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, APCON Dr. Aminu Gwadabe expressed concerns about expanding gap between official and parallel market rate. He said the financial sector regulator should find ways to continue. And out to health. In health, the Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has warned Nigerians that the consumption of fruits. Adeyeye also said fruits ripened with calcium carbide have the tendency to cause cancer. Frequent thirst, irritation in the mouth and nose, weakness, permanent skin damage, difficulty in swallowing, vomiting, and skin ulcer. The NAFDAC boss stated this today at the official flag of agency's media sensitization workshop on public challenge, and that the agency has deployed a multifaceted approach to tackle the menace. In sports, Arsenal's first leg in the Ghana's pre-season tour. According to reports, Wanere is one of 3 teenage academy prospects picked by Arteta. Recall that Arsenal are currently out in Germany gearing up for a pre-season friendly against FC Nuremberg, where all 3 of Wanere, Miles, Lewis Kelly, and Roel Walters could feature. Meanwhile, Wanere is known to fans after he became the youngest player in Premier League history. Last term, when he made a cameo appearance against Brentford at just 15 years and 100 hours, has ruled in favor of double 800-meter Olympic champion Caster Semenya in a case involving testosterone levels in female athletes. The 32-year-old South African was born with difference of sexual development (DSD), and reports say that Semenya has been in a long-running dispute with governing body World Athletics since regulations requiring her to take hormone treatment to decrease her natural testosterone levels were introduced in 2018. She has twice failed in legal battles to a Supreme Court ruling 3 years ago. The victory for the 32-year-old is largely symbolic, as it does not call into question the ruling by World Athletics and does not pave the way for Semenya to return to competition in the 800 meters. Now to entertainment news, where veteran Nollywood actor and filmmaker Kanayo Okanayo has shared some words of wisdom on the trending Brazilian boat lift (BBL) among women and filmmaker, expressed his anger and disapproval of the Brazilian boat lift in an Instagram post, calling it unprofitable and likening it to secondary school relationships. The actor asked why people would subject themselves to so much pain and told a story from getting the procedure done. Still on entertainment, American actress and producer Andre Evans, whose acting credits include One Life to Live, The Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful, and Passions, has passed on following a battle with cancer. Her manager, Nick Lade, revealed these in a statement saying that the soap opera world has lost a shining star who died at 66. He described Andrea as a tremendous talent and an absolute joy to work with. Meanwhile, Ivan's publicist Clint Morris added that separate statement that Andrea was a wonderful person and another angel needed to be recruited in heaven. And that's what we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTv.ng. Don't also forget to follow us on Twitter at SpectrumTOnline, all as one word. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White. Enjoy the rest of your day.